What's going on, guys? My name is Devon Evans. I'm your host, and welcome back to another episode of the Band of Barbers podcast. I really appreciate you guys tuning in today. If you are new to the channel, if you're new to the page, please like, comment, share, subscribe, spread the news so we can grow the tribe. Without further ado, let's jump into today's episode. And we're just going to have a little conversation this evening about just kind of some things that popped into my head today. And, one of the things that I was thinking about today is how different my life has been than what I imagined it to be. I had this grandiose image of what my life was going to be. I was going to go and work in corporate, work my way up the ladder. I take that back. Initially, I will say this. Barbering was not in my plans of anything to do. Barbering was a way for me to save money, first off. And it was just kind of something that I enjoy, kind of a side hobby, things like that. So when I graduated from high school, I went to college to be a lawyer. That was what I wanted to do. Quickly realized that I did not want to do that. And I decided to go to the military. So when I got to the military, I went to the Marines. When I got there, I thought for sure, I said, man, this is it. This is easy. This is, just like the military school I went to. I'm going to ride this out and I'm going to do 20 years in the Marines. And then I'll retire and sit back and just chill and collect my pension and everything like that. Did not go as planned. But the funny thing is that what did happen that also was not planned is during that time I started cutting hair and I started getting better. Well, I continued cutting hair while in the military, and I started to get better the more and more and the longer I was in the military. Like I said, I've said before, I grew my clientele base from 2 to I had about 30, maybe 40 guys that would come through and get their haircut during the week, or during the weekend. And, it was all fun for me. Now, I didn't necessarily do it for free at that point, but I definitely gave it away on a discount. I think at the time I used to charge $5 for a haircut if you paid then, $7 if I had to wait until payday, and I was a smoker back then, and you could also, if you didn't have the $5, if you didn't want to wait until then, you could just give me a pack of cigarettes, and that was kind of what I did. But again, like I said, the 20 years in the Marines did not happen. Some days I miss it, but I miss more of the people than I do the actual institution as a whole. It was just rough. So that wasn't what I planned. When I got in the military, like once I had left college, I got in the military, did it, and I was like, well, I'm gonna do 20 years and call it a day. Nah, not at all. Once I got out of the military, I worked plenty of jobs. I was like, all right, I've got Marine on my resume. That looks good. Everybody's going to be super excited about that. I'm going to get some nice corporate job and I'm gonna work my way up the ladder, and no, 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 no. Didn't do it. Couldn't do it. Didn't necessarily really like, the corporate world or the structure, the jobs that I wanted to do. I ended up doing. I took a lot of grunt work jobs, so it wasn't necessarily what I had imagined. I wanted to be a leader within a company, and I guess you can say I was a leader, but I was a leader at the lowest level. Um, and I could not uh, I couldn't work my way up. The people that were in those key leadership positions at the time in both places had been there for a while, or I was passed over, and I just didn't care for it. Now I went back in both of the jobs that I had. Uh, well, two of the jobs that I had when I moved back to Virginia. One being the juvenile detention center, the other one being the military school. Both of those jobs, I ended up at one time or another cutting hair at both of those places and providing services and things like that. And even though I was doing that, I was happy to do it because it was something that I enjoyed, but I wasn't in the belief that I could really make a living cutting hair. I didn't believe it. I didn't think it was a thing. I didn't think it was a thing at all. And so I was like, yeah, okay, well, I'll get better, and maybe somebody will pay me better at some point, or maybe somebody will pay me, because a lot of those things I did for free. I said, maybe somebody will pay me, and we'll do something. We'll do something with that, and that'll be a nice bit of little, that'll be a nice little side hustle for me, or everything like that. The break came for me in the frustration of trying to level up, and I realized that this just wasn't a game that I was willing to play or anything like that. And honestly, guys, I'll just say this: I'm thankful for the the turns and the twists, honestly, that my life took to get me to where I'm at, because a lot of the people that were in these places, that in these companies that I worked for when I left the military, a lot of those people are gone or have moved on, or something like that. But it's very few. I can think of one of the people who was in a key leadership role who has stepped out on faith in the way that I have and began to work for themselves. One and one only. Um, and so I take it. I take great. I'm very happy about what I'm doing, and I'm happy and excited to share the journey, not only with you guys, but to share the lessons that I have learned with my students, and to help grow and mold the young the young and up and coming barbers the young and up and coming barbers in the industry. I'm super excited about that. I have a lot of life lessons and things lived that I've done, and I'm just excited to share my perspective on life and the opinions that I have in certain situations. And when I say opinions, I don't necessarily mean it in a negative way. A lot of people feel like that. I just share the things that I have seen within this industry and what's going on, and all the trends and different things that are happening. So, you know, like I said to start off the episode, like my life took a totally different turn. And honestly, I didn't even think that when my life took this turn, um, I was pretty nervous. I was pretty nervous. I never thought that, you know, barbering would become my thing, my thing, my career, my life. I never thought it would be this way. It wasn't that I did not have respect for barbers, because I do. I have great respect for barbers. I had great respect for barbers even back then. It wasn't that. I just, I guess I never really thought about the business and the capabilities. And once I started looking at it, and I got in, I was an apprentice, and I started looking and paying attention, and I said, man, like these people are making these barbers, the ones that are truly working, they're making more money in a day than some high paying jobs. And even still, they're making more money to me than the people who were who would be considered affluent, who would be considered wealthy. They were making more money a day. Now, I do understand exchanging, time for money in the way that barbers do, but I'm just saying, if I'm going to work hard, I would rather work hard for myself than for someone else. And it's just a thing, and I enjoy every minute of it. I enjoy every single minute of it. The challenges, the learning, all of those things, I enjoy it all. So guys, like, don't get so stuck on a plan in your life that you're going to do this one thing, because you may take a million different turns. You may take a million different turns during that process and end up somewhere where you didn't think that you were going to go. And like I said, I went from a wannabe lawyer to a, a United States Marine to an employee. And when I went full fledged, and I will say this, when I went full fledged at my first big time major business, I was doing t-shirts. I still wasn't cutting hair. And this was like the last one of the last things on my list, and the fulfillment that being a barber and now being a barber instructor has given me so far has been amazing. It has been amazing. And I really enjoy it, and I'm super excited that I get this opportunity. I don't wake up angry that I've got to go do this, or upset like, oh, here we go. I got to go to work. I got to go to work again. And I will say this about being a barber, and understand this for all the barbers out there, for the seasoned veterans, for the barber who you know likes to leave work early and everything like that. I have a rule. I have a rule now. With opening the school, my schedule has been kind of wonky, so I'm not always in the shop. But I have a when I was solely focused on being in the shop, I had a rule. If I felt bad about my day or about going to work, which It wasn't necessarily the going thing, but if I felt like I was having a bad day, and I'm like, I could stay home today, I would get up and I would drive to the shop. And sometimes I'd drive to the shop with no intention on cutting hair. And what you think happens once you get in the shop? Somebody's coming in. Somebody's coming in to get a haircut. I'll just take this one. Uh, uh, and the camaraderie in the shop, like the camaraderie in the shop that I've been in, the most recent shop that I've been in, is unmatched because you can't be upset for long. Like, just the energy, it just takes over, and it's all these people. It's kind of like for me, it's kind of like walking into the bar at Cheers. Everybody knows your name, and yes, of course, we do work together, but sometimes just going and sitting in the environment and having conversations with the other barbers or the hairstylists in the back, like just having that conversation can get me up and going, and get me where I need to be. And I will say, and for me, it wasn't necessarily not me not wanting to go to the shop. Isn't necessarily, it has never really been about not wanting to go to the shop. It's issues outside, personal issues, and things like that, and nothing crazy. It's just like today's not the day for me. Not feeling today. Not feeling the barbershop. Not feeling me personally that day. Just not in the right headspace. And I will say this, and I've said this before. You have to understand and develop yourself personally, because you need to understand the emotions and things that you're feeling, right? If you're not feeling those emotions, if you don't understand those emotions and you're just having feelings, it's raw. It's like an open wound, and it's trying to do whatever it can do to heal. It's trying to do whatever it can do to heal. It's trying to absorb. I I apologize for my rant there, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't plan at 13 years old when I picked the Clippers up the first time and gave someone else a lineup. Like, I did not see that 20 some odd years later, this would be my career and I would be opening a school. I didn't see any of that. None of that did I see. But what can I say? I'm here now. I'm enjoying every minute of it. I love it, and I hope that those of you who are thinking about getting into the industry just understand, like I hope that you love it too, and it's not just it's not just a money grab, right? And for the older barbers who may be listening to this, please do whatever you need to do to fall back in love with barbering. Don't give your customers half of you or a quarter of you because you're not in love with what you do and you're just, you know, chasing the dollar or not trying to work to. Don't do that. Find your love, find your passion. Go to it and do it and figure out how to monetize, aka turn whatever you're doing into a business. Even if you have to take a short cut in pay, just find a way. Find a way to do it. I appreciate you guys listening and tuning in tonight. Really, like I said, really want you to understand that, like, my life's goal for so long was not to be a barber. Barbering was just my hobby. Like, that was it. And it has turned into a very lucrative and fulfilling career. And I hope that for all the other barbers that are listening, the barbers that are interested, I hope that you can find or develop the same passion for this industry that has given us so much. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you for listening. My name is Devon Evans. I'm your host here at the Band of Barbers podcast. This has been another episode. Please like, comment, share, subscribe so we can grow the tribe. Let's build this thing out. Let's start getting our follows and our shares up, guys. Please support the channel. Please, if you don't feel like this is the right message for you necessarily per se, just go ahead and share it with somebody that you do feel that the message is for. Right? I understand that every message isn't for every person all the time. I get it. So please, if you're listening to this and you're like, this isn't for me, or if you're listening to this and you think it is for you, please don't be afraid to share. Please share, talk to us. Let's figure it out. Let's grow this. Let's grow this community. Let's grow this community. Right now, the community needs more professionals. They need more professionals. They need you to be who they needed to be who you are. So please, if you're not in the Augusta County, Rockingham, Waynesboro area, there are barber schools around. And you live in the state of Virginia. There are barber schools, up in Northern Virginia, down in Southern Virginia, and all the way over to the beach. Find a school, figure it out, learn it. Let's change the game. Let's turn it up. Let's be great. Be great. Enjoy your night. We'll talk to you again.